Of winning. Our office hours are weekdays from 8 till 10 a.m. and 11 a.m. to 3:30 p.m. Employees of WHOW, WEZC, and their families are not allowed to participate in our contest. Thanks for participating and for listening to WHOW and WEZC.
Your friend in Central Illinois. WHOW.
Top of the morning. Thanks for being with us. I'm your host today, Seth Lawrence. The WHOW Morning Show streams to Facebook and YouTube, brought to you by Peterson Insurance, your Pekin Insurance agent in Clinton. My guest on the Zoom today is Breann Titus with Community Action. Good to see you, Breann. How are you?
Yes, good morning. So sorry I couldn't be in studio today.
I'll tell you what, it is too treacherous out to be doing that kind of stuff. You were telling me.
I kind of felt like I was going to have to get the snowmobile out to get there.
And nobody's got time for that. Goodness gracious.
No.
That wind and snow blowing in your face, brutal. Don't do that stuff. But no,
especially because I'm not a fan.
And I'll tell you what, I enjoy that now. Even though we can't be in studio, we can still see you thanks to the wonders of technology and the world of Zoom. So, and by the way, I should mention this. I should have told you this off there. If there ever is a time where like you guys can't get over here or something comes up, we can do this on Zoom. We can do it on the phone. So don't ever feel like Community Action is obligated to be in studio. We can always make these last minute accommodations like we did today. But anyways, Breann, I know I saw in your press release recently, Cheeseburger in Paradise, the last bite. What is going on with Cheeseburger? Tell us about this year's event.
Yeah, so it's obviously very crazy that this comes around so fast every year. And of course, we're looking outside and seeing inches of snow on the ground and thinking about paradise, but that's what gets me through the day sometimes. So Cheeseburger in Paradise has been an annual event for us. It's a huge fundraiser for Community Action. It helps us bring in unrestricted revenue to support our programs and to support all of the community projects that we do. It's been 20 years. So this is the 20th year that we've done this event. And as much as we love it, sometimes it's good to kind of go out with a bang. And so we have decided as a committee that this will be our last and final Cheeseburger in Paradise. So we are calling it the last bite, just as kind of a fun thing. It's going to be set up very similar to the ones over the years. We may add a few extra things just to make it extra special this year, but overall the concept is going to be the same. And we're not done with fundraising. We're just going to be coming up with something new.
Sure.
So that's what we're looking at right now.
Sure. You mentioned those unrestricted funds there, Breann. What does that mean to Community Action? Why are unrestricted funds so beneficial to the agency?
Absolutely. So unrestricted funds are probably the most important funds that come into the agency, although that they are less money coming in because we get a lot of grant funding. However, a lot of our grants are restricted. There's guidelines, there's restrictions. There are, specific things that customers or we have to meet in order to utilize those funds. Mm-hmm. They give us only so much funds for specific line items. So if we're looking at client assistance, we can only spend so much money out of the grant. So there's lots of restrictions. That's great when you're going to support that particular program and service. However, not every community need or every customer need falls into the scope of a grant or program that we have. Mm-hmm. So we don't want to just turn that person away if they need help. So bringing in those unrestricted revenue sources allows us to kind of have a fund or a pot of money that allows us to really determine when that money needs to be used and for what. So I've used this example before, but every once in a while we'll have a homeless family come in, maybe even this time of the year where it's cold and snowing outside, and they need temporary housing. Well, we don't have a grant program that allows us to cover temporary housing. But if we have unrestricted revenue from our fundraising events or other sources coming in, we can actually be able to put them in a hotel maybe for a couple of days, get them some food, get them some clothing if necessary, and take care of that family rather than pushing them back out into the snow and saying, I'm sorry, we don't have a program for that.
Right.
We are a community organization and we want to help people as much as we can, but not every grant fits the mold. And so we need those unrestricted funds to be able to still serve those people that fall in the cracks.
Sure. When it comes to Cheeseburger itself there, Breann, is this your biggest fundraiser?
It is. It is our biggest fundraiser. It's really our only, I don't want to say only fundraiser. We do smaller campaigns and fundraisers throughout the year that are maybe more specific for particular programs or particular items that we need. But this overall is the only program, only fundraiser that we do that supports the agency as a whole and supports all of our programs, all of our counties in our service area, everyone.
Mm-hmm. Very good. So the final Cheeseburger in Paradise, did you say the dates and the when and how folks get tickets? Are those tickets available now? How about some of those details, Breann?
Absolutely. So yes, tickets are on sale now. We do expect them. They have always kind of gone pretty fast. We do expect these to go quickly just because it's the last opportunity for people, especially if they've enjoyed coming year after year, or maybe they've always wanted to come, but like now they're like, oh gosh, how did that happen? Now it's the last one and they want to come. So those are on sale. We do encourage you to get them sooner rather than later. It is scheduled for Saturday, April 26th. It will be at Lincoln Banquet Center in Lincoln. However, we encourage everyone in our service area to attend or to participate because it does support all county services or all service area services. And we have a lot of Clinton businesses and things that donate as well as come to the event. It is in the evening from 6 to 10. And we're just really excited. We have electronic ticket options, so you can go online and purchase tickets that way. You can do it by contacting me directly. Online is probably the easiest way just because it's all done that way and electronically instead of having to go through the check mailing and all of that, but lots of options.
Very good. Breann Titus is the Chief Visionary Officer, by the way, of Community Action. Yeah, I forgot to put that one in there at the beginning. So, but no, Breann, let's talk Cheeseburger itself. What is the night look like? Cheeseburger in Paradise. Kind of lay out the evening. What's the environment like? And also, I mean, are you doing anything special for the last hurrah, if you will?
Yeah, so the evening, so I guess I'll back up a little bit. So we start about 10 days prior to the physical event, but with doing an online virtual auction. And so instead of doing a silent auction at the event, we have put it online since COVID to allow people to participate from anywhere. And that's been a huge benefit to us. We've had so many more people be able to participate, so many more people be able to make donations and support the event, support the agency. If they can't attend, don't want to attend, they're not close by to attend, all of those things. So that will start 10 days prior and that will close that Friday before the event. At the night of the event, it's just a very relaxed, casual, fun atmosphere. Lots of business professionals, lots of just community supporters in general that come in with table sponsorships and just for a fun evening. We do serve a full meal, which is usually always donated by local businesses and cooked by a local church. And so we really just pull the community in for that. Of course, we have cheeseburgers. You can't have an event with cheeseburger in the name without actually having cheeseburgers. We have like these famous wings that have like a secret recipe that people just cannot get enough of. We actually sell the extra at the auction at the end of the event because people want them. Mm-hmm. We have our local high school, Lincoln High School, their culinary team does all of our desserts for us. So it's just fun. There's a cash bar. We have margaritas. We have souvenir cups. And I don't know what we're going to do. I am kind of like excited about that this year. So we started that several years ago and it was like a new color every year to like collect them all. But what do you do for the final one? Like, I'm like excited, but also like nervous because like, how do you make it bigger? I don't know, maybe tie-dye. I don't know. So we do that. We also have live music with Jay Christopher. He's done the event the last several years. He's great. We also have a live auction. So we have auctioneers that come in and they're great. It's Cody Tucker and his brother come in, and they get the crowd going, and they do a live auction and for those packages, and just have a lot of fun. We raise a lot of money. We have a good time. And that's the best part.
Nice. Very good. Well, Breann, I'll tell you what, I look at the clock. We could use a break. So let's take that and come back and maybe talk about, you mentioned Final Cheeseburger. So maybe we talk about what is next and maybe what's going to make this one special and all of that. So in the meantime, you mentioned tickets are on sale now. Do you mind, again, going over the pricing and where folks can pick those up at?
Absolutely. So our website is a great place for information. It's capsule.info. Everything that you would ever want to know about community action is on there. Under the agency development page, there is a place where you can actually purchase your tickets and learn more about that. It ranges from your table sponsorships of $720 down to $180, depending on how many tickets or seats that you need. So there's lots of different options, lots of different levels, depending on what your needs are.
Breann Titus, Chief Visionary Officer for Community Action, on the Zoom call with us today. More to come with Breann on The Morning Show.
WHOW.
Here's owner Dave Jackson from your Clinton Save-A-Lot on Inflation 2024.
All the big chains have fattened their margins tremendously, increasing their margins and piling on. That's one thing I don't do, is I do not pile on to a serious situation and go, well, I can get away with increasing things even more because the customer won't notice.
Despite inflation, you'll still save up to 40% on your food bill every day at your Clinton Save-A-Lot. And as Dave always says,
Hope to see you soon.
Central Illinois' news, agriculture, and sports station, WHOW, on all its platforms, AM, FM, and streamed online, are bringing all the great things happening at our local high schools to the radio in January. We're hitting the road for the WHOW High School Road Tour. Join us when we broadcast live from Maroa Forsyth High School from 9 until 10 in the morning on Tuesday, January 14th, interviewing the Maroa Forsyth High School principal, athletic director, student council president, and one of the club's student presidents.
If the flu's got you down, the Warner Hospital and Health Services Walk-In Clinic inside Family Medicine can help you feel better fast. CEO Paul Skowron inviting you to make us your backup plan to better health. Find out more by clicking our icon at DeWittDailyNews.com.
DeWittDailyNews.com is the area's leading local news source 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Get the latest local news, obituaries, police blotter, weather forecast, and more. Head to DeWittDailyNews.com to get the local information you need to know.
Your friend in Central Illinois, WHOW.
Once again, a good morning. Thanks for being with us. I'm your host today, Seth Lawrence. The WHOW Morning Show streams to Facebook and YouTube, brought to you by Peterson Insurance, your Pekin Insurance agent in Clinton. My guest on the Zoom call today, again, Breann Titus with Community Action. She is the Chief Visionary Officer. And Breann, as we chat for this morning, of course, Final Cheeseburger in Paradise comes up in April. Boy, can't believe it is the final go-round of this event. Are you finding that support this time around is easier to gain because, people want in on that last event? You want to do something special to see it off right. How about that?
Yeah, I do. I do think so. We did a poll on social media after last year's event, just kind of getting a feel from our people that attend, like, what did they want to see? Do they love it and just want to keep it the same? Do they want us to keep the event but change it up? Or do they want us to do something different? And people were kind of mixed. Like, I really just like how the historical significance of the event and things like that. But you also have kind of that new age population that's like, hey, what else can we do? And so I think we just kind of decided that, like, let's make this last one like a big deal. Let's really preserve the historical success of the event. And then, like, let's look something in the future for something maybe different or more fun or just something more new age, I guess. So it's kind of where the conversation started and kind of where they went. And so this last one, it's hard to kind of say, like, oh, after 20 years, we're going to give it up. But I do think people are wanting to be a part of it because it's been along for so long. I mean, there are not a lot of fundraisers out there that have been around for 20 years
Mm-hmm.
and been successful for 20 years.
Right.
And so in the last many years, we've had even more success in the last 5 years than we've had, even over the full 20 years. I mean, this fundraiser alone brings in a minimum of $25,000. And the last several years, it's been closer to $38,000 to $40,000.
Wow.
And it's hard as a fundraiser and as somebody that has to look towards the future. It's hard to find a fundraiser the first time you do it that can make that much money.
Yeah. Well, that's why they call you the chief visionary officer, though, Breann.
I'm getting visionary over here. But it is also something where change is common. Change has to happen sometimes to grow and to find more success. And so even though we're looking to potentially kind of start over with some other event and something new, we're excited to see where that goes. We're excited to see maybe if there's a new population of people that might be interested because we're doing something different.
Mm-hmm.
But as far as like people wanting to buy tickets, like I said earlier, like people are excited. They're excited. They want to be a part of the final event. They want to be there. And so I believe that tickets are going to go pretty fast. And I hope that donations come in quickly as well.
No doubt. Well, as we talk about, preparing for this event, Breann, you mentioned you want to send it out the right way and those sorts of things. By the way, I meant to ask you this. Do you watch Parks and Recreation?
I have a little bit, but not consistently.
Okay.
We talked about how busy my life is, remember?
Well, I know. But you remind me a little bit of like Leslie Knope. Like you always have to like top your next idea. So that's kind of why I asked.
I do, and I kind of like I have a love-hate relationship with that. So I love the fact that I can do that, but I'm also like going back to last year, and I'm like, how am I going to do this?
Uh-huh.
And it's even bigger when you give up a fundraiser that's been so successful for 20 years and you have to find a new idea.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's challenging in a good way, but it's also kind of scary.
Yep.
And so you don't want to like go out to the next fundraiser to be a complete flop.
Mm-hmm.
So
you just need to sit
it's
down.
a little stressful.
You know what you need to do tonight, Breann? When all that snow's on the ground, everything is called off, just sit down in front of the fireplace, watch a little Parks and Recreation, and just binge watch it for a night. There you go. So
hey, I think maybe I do. It's going to bring the creative juices flowing.
I think so. And some good laughs. But back to why we are having this conversation, which is Cheeseburger in Paradise. You mentioned this is such a huge fundraiser. And you talked about, some of the things that the money goes towards in that first segment. If you didn't have Cheeseburger in Paradise, and you're going to have to find something for it after this year, it sounds like. But if you didn't have this big time fundraiser, what would that mean for your agency? And, how limited would you be in your impact?
Yeah, absolutely. So I think when you have a fundraiser for so long that's successful, you tend to take it for granted. And we learned the hard way in 2020. We had to cancel the event and first time in its many years of history. And we didn't really realize how much of an impact it was going to make on the agency until we didn't have it.
Mm-hmm.
And we realized during that period of time, even though there was a lot of additional COVID money that was kind of floating around for different grant opportunities, that was great. But again, it still comes with those restrictions. And so we really realized like, wow, like we can't go the extra mile without this money. We can't help those people that fall through the cracks without this money. And we really realized that this event or something like it has to happen. And so, that's the other part in the back of my mind, looking towards even in 2026, being able to find something that is going to be a great event, but also be able to bring in the revenue to retiring Cheeseburger and making that feel like it's justified by being able to bring in money from a different event. So, but the only way that we can do that is from the support of the community. So whether that's supporting Cheeseburger in Paradise this year or that's supporting an event in 2026, the only way we can do this successfully is because people participate.
Mm-hmm.
People buy table sponsorships, they attend the event, they participate in the online auction, they participate in the live auction. The community businesses donate to the event and allow us to bring in as much revenue as possible. As far as donations, that is one thing that we did change this year. Is before we would ask these businesses, hey, would you really be willing to donate an item to our auction? And that sometimes is hard. Sometimes the businesses are like, I'm not sure what to donate, or is this enough, or this is all I can give. Or they're like, insurance companies and things like that are like, well, I don't really know what to give you. So we changed that up this year, and we're doing it. There's a sponsorship option for auction items. So rather than giving us a physical item off your shelf or something like that, I'm actually just donating monetarily, and that way we can collect a pile of money from each county, and then we go to that county. Most likely me in particular, I go to that county and I spend that money on auction items in those local businesses. So I'm supporting the economy. I'm supporting those businesses. I'm buying items for an auction that make a package that makes sense, that people are going to be excited about, that they're going to want to spend a lot of money on. We do this in Menard County every year because of a grant opportunity that we get in Menard County, and it is amazing. It is amazing to be able to go in and spend lots of money in these businesses and not really ask them for an item. A lot of times they throw something in because I'm already spending money. And I get to go shop for things that are fun and make sense. So we encourage people to do that this year. Instead of giving us an item, just giving us monetarily, and that way we can go and you still get credit for it. You're still a sponsor. We still list you as a sponsor.
Sure. Well, Breann, I hate to do this to you. We're out of time for today. Best way for folks to buy tickets, get more information about Cheeseburger in Paradise.
Yes, it always goes so fast. Capsule.info, best place to go. Also follow us on Facebook. All of the current events, happenings, and everything like that are on Facebook daily. Go to purchase tickets. Capsule.info will take you right there. There's a button that you can click, and then you can purchase online. You can also donate monetarily online.
That is Breann Titus, Chief Visionary Officer with Community Action Network News on the way.